Are you thinking about moving to the Tampa-St. Petersburg area, but the Tampa-St. Pete area today is a little bit too new age for you, and you actually enjoy the more old school type Florida, the old soul feeling, the just lazy beach days that you remember maybe as a kid? Or maybe you just want a quaint town where you can come to relax and enjoy every single day as if you were on vacation. Well, stick with me because today I am going to take you into my maps and we're going to look and talk all about Gulfport, Florida. So let's go. Hey, if this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is to know about the St. Petersburg, Tampa Bay area, then make sure to subscribe and hit that bell notification so that you don't miss out on a thing. The market changes here all the time. My name is Gina. My team and I have been helping people move to the Tampa Bay area for the last 11 years, and we love it. So if you're thinking about making a move in the next 3 days, 3 months, 3 years, it doesn't matter. Reach out to us. We love to give you some more information about the area and eventually help you make a stress-free move to the area. All of our information is in the description below, and I cannot wait to hear from you. Okay, now I want you to stick with me because I'm going to give you 3 good reasons why you should watch this video about Gulfport, Florida. Number 1, Gulfport, Florida has that old charm, the old Florida charm that you might remember or that you have always heard about. You'll see brick paved streets. You'll see large oak trees lining a ton of properties in the area by the glistening bay of Boca Ciega that leads out to the waters of Tampa. And you also have an amazing, quaint downtown where you have cottage-style homes, and some are newer, some are updated, and it just gives you the feeling of being in this tranquil, beachy, fun, artistic town. So that's the first reason why you should stick around. Now, the second reason you should stick around is because I want to tell you about how cool this town is. Gulfport, Florida downtown is one of the only areas in the Tampa Bay that has the downtown area where the businesses are. All the businesses down there are independently owned and operated. That is hardly ever seen anymore. So if you want that old charm and you want to support local businesses and people who actually live in Gulfport, this is the place for you. And the number 3 reason, Gulfport has a very artistic feeling and atmosphere. You're going to see tons of art. You're going to see people that are like art by what they're wearing or how they're dressed. You'll see actual art in the parks, along the streets, and you can also swing back into the old days and hit up the Gulfport Casino, which has a ton of dance lessons and just ballroom style fun events. So like I mentioned, we're going to jump into the maps today because I want to give you a feel for what is in Gulfport. Gulfport is somewhat smaller than a lot of the bigger areas around. You're only about 5-10 minutes from downtown St. Pete, about 20 minutes from Tampa. You could be in St. Pete Beach in about 10 minutes. So you're right there in the central area. So let's jump in and not delay so I can get you into Gulfport and tell you what it's all about. Let's go. All right, we are in my maps. As you can see on the screen, here is Gulfport, Florida. It is to the west of St. Petersburg. And if I zoom out here on the map, you can see that we are just over the bridges from the Tampa area here. And Gulfport is this small little area in the red dots here. So we're going to zoom in and we're going to talk about Gulfport today so you get a really good idea. So what I want to start with showing you is how close Gulfport is to the beach. Like I mentioned, you can get there in like 5 minutes. So technically, Gulfport is just below West St. Pete. And sometimes people get it confused that thinking it is part of West St. Pete, but it's sort of its own small little area, as you can see. And to get to the beach, you literally just drive over to the South Pasadena Avenue Bridge, and take it all the way into St. Pete Beach, and you're there. So that's a super great area if you love the beach. You can also easily ride your bike across this bridge. It's really a great little spot to walk or bike. I'll even show you by placing the little man over here so you can see. You can kind of see that it's just a big road, and either way, in and out, you have a very easy way to get over the beach. So this is just a really great spot if that is something that you really love to do. So secondly, you want to point out is Gulfport's kind of cool because if I zoom in here, like I mentioned before, it has that old Florida charm. So even though surrounding it may be being updated and getting more, like the downtown feel of like the St. Pete area and things like that, you're not going to find that as much here. It's still quaint, it's still old school, and it's very artistic. So one of the cool things though is it does blend a little new age with old age. And I say that because you have this huge Pasadena Golf and Yacht Club here. And if we take it to this other map style here and we zoom in on the Yacht Club, you see one of my other videos about Gulfport, I actually stood at the golf course and you can see it a little bit better, but this is a huge golf course. Tons of homes are lining in and around it. Most of the homes here are either on the golf course area or they're on the water area. And in this general area, like right down here, or any of these homes here on the water, or any of these right in the center here, you can kind of see those on the map. You are looking at gated communities, and most of the homes are all over $1 million for sure. So you're definitely going to have more of a luxurious lifestyle if you do come and you want to be in that sort of atmosphere. Let me pop you down here and I can kind of give you, it's sort of hard because I can't take you in because like I mentioned, a lot of them are gated. So on the maps, obviously you can't see that, but here's the golf course, beautiful grounds, beautiful club. Everything about it is amazing. And even if you don't live in the area, you will love this club in general. The other thing is, like I said, you're right on the water. So boom, right on the water, you can see the homes. They have their own boat docks, of course. I mean, it's just one of those communities that if you want to take a walk, you're really going to get everywhere safely because there's not going to be much traffic, especially if the community's gated. All right, let's pop back out of here. Okay, so we just popped back out, and what I want to show you, we're going to go back to the layers version here. I like it a little bit better. Is that, like I mentioned, over on this side, you have your Pasadena Golf and Country Club. That's definitely part of the Gulfport area. Now, if we zoom in, everything kind of down here in the south end is the downtown Gulfport area. And down here, you're going to find where you're going to have a lot of quaint cottages, a lot of older homes. You're going to have a lot of park entrances down here. This is where you can go to a lot of like fishing adventures. If you have a boat, you can go to the yacht area down here and put your boat in the marina. If you like to fish, this is a great place to do that too. You can either take your boat out or you can go to a lot of the little coves down here and fish off the pier. So I'm going to zoom in and just show you that real quick. So downtown is right here along this road. You have, as you can see, Stella's, Gulfport Fresh Market, Pia's. It's the main road where you're not going to pay for parking. Literally anywhere in Gulfport, you don't have to pay for parking, which is so cool. But this is a great road because that's where you're going to find a lot of your independently owned businesses. You're also going to find that right along Shore Boulevard South here. So those are two of the really main roads that if you did come down to the area, you really stick to that section. You also have the Gulfport Beach and Recreation Center right here, which is so quaint and adorable. Like, if you don't like busy, crazy beaches, this is definitely a great spot. It is a place where you can swim and actually like enjoy the sand and the weather. And you are on the bay, so it's a little more calm as far as the water goes. Not that we get huge waves here on the Tampa side. That's more for the East Coast. But if you like really small waves, maybe you have smaller kids, this is a good place to go. You also, like I said, have the Gulfport Casino right down here. And that's also like where you can go dancing or take lessons or have events in that area as well. So there's a huge parking lot down here. You have like a playground and just things that you can go do right in this area. There's also shopping along the shore boulevard here. You have like your, fun bars and restaurants all the way at Beach Boulevard South. So this is just a fun area if you are living in Gulfport or you just visit Gulfport. This is a really cool area to go to. Okay, so let me zoom back out and we're gonna go over to the southeast side and I want to show you what that's about. Okay, we are going to zoom in over here on the southeast side. Now, if you walk from the downtown area, which is down here by Maddie's Bar and Grill, you're going to just go straight to the east and you're gonna hit the area where Yacht Club is. There's 2 yacht clubs down there. One has like a more of like a club feel and the other one's more just like a marina style. But you're also, I don't want to forget to mention, on your way down to this area, you're going to pass a bunch of like amazing parks. You have the Veterans Park, which is like got great views. It's just a really nice little tiny park, but it's a nice place to walk around. And then you also have, once you pass like the Cove Marina and all that, and you kind of come into the general area where you have the yacht club and everything over here, you can see the yacht club. You have what's called Clam Bayou Nature Park. And the cool thing about this is that if you pull in and you want to just sightsee, you can come down to this roundabout and you have like great views around here. You can also go into the little coves around here and you can go fishing and just kind of like bird watch if you like that kind of thing. It's more quaint and quiet when you get inside, but it's a little busier on the outside because this main area right here is a lot of where the boaters go if you're taking an excursion out on the water, or like a tiki boat ride. Or if you like fishing, they have like a place where you can actually dock and then clean your fish here. So that's a pretty cool place, but this is a nice little park. And the cool thing about this is if I zoom out here, if you go just slightly up this road, if you follow my arrow here and we go slightly up this road, right about here, we zoom in, you can see that there's this like trail path that starts to come off of the main street. So let me throw us down there really quick and I'll show you what I mean. So you can see what this is basically from your neighborhood back here, you are zoomed in to where you could actually take the trail. And this trail, which basically looks like this most of the way, so it's really nice if you want to run or bike or push a stroller or whatever your needs are. But this trail goes all the way up and around. It goes through all of the mangroves, all the way across over to the other side, which is more of like the West St. Pete side. But you look back at Gulfport from here, and this is another great park. You have just a lot of cool views from this area and a lot of fun activities that you can do if you like to walk or bike or rollerblade or all the things like I mentioned. And it's kind of cool because then you can head on over here into the West St. Pete and go, there's a couple of like boating spots down here, or if you need to grab something at Walmart, for example, you can walk over to that. So it's just a good convenient spot. The other cool thing about this is if I kind of go up a little higher, you do have another golf course up here that you can check out. Obviously, you're probably not going to walk to that, but it is just a nice quiet walk. And if I like show you this by just clicking here, you can see it's just water, Skyway Trail. You can look it up. It's a very cool little spot in Gulfport. Okay, so now we're going to zoom back out and I'm going to show you one more thing. Okay, so Gulfport, basically everything down here, I would say in the little boot. So you can kind of see this like line on the right hand of the screen here that's just basically a completely perpendicular line. If you kind of take that and you just draw right across, anything below that is really downtown. Now, some will argue and say this is still sort of downtown, but you're kind of getting more north downtown. So anywhere in the area, let's say below this Gulfport symbol or name, you're going to find more of your higher priced homes, but they're going to be higher priced homes for an older style property. Now, I want to give you an example of what I mean by this. So if I zoom in here and I throw my little guy or girl, let's say down here. All right, so to give you a really good example, this home right here recently sold, and this home is, you can see it's on just a basic main street. It's very nice, very updated, very cute. It's got the brick pavers. It's right across from the church. Downtown is just right down here. And it does have a mother-in-law suite, whole entire separate building in the back. But to give you an example, this home, I think, recently sold for around the $900,000 mark. So that just kind of gives you a good idea of when you're downtown, these are the kind of homes you might be more likely to see than others. Okay, so the other ones that you're going to see is something a little more stylistic to Gulfport. So if I zoom back in here and I throw our little guy like right here, there is a house right down here that is super cool and quaint. Let's see if I can get a better picture for you. This house right here sold recently for around the $650,000 mark, I believe. And it's definitely the style that you're going to see in Gulfport. So if you're driving through the area, you have these artistic style homes. Not all of them obviously have things like this in the front yard, but you definitely have the homes that are more artistic and fun like this. So that is something to keep in mind. Okay, so now let's take a look at one other style property. So if I zoom down here, I'm going to give you an example of what I mean by how Gulfport down in this area is. It's just such a mix. You will find large homes for a lot of money. You'll find large homes for medium money. You'll find small homes for a lot of money because they've been fixed up, but they're super artistic. Then you'll find small homes for not a lot of money because they haven't been fixed up. So this is a really good example that I'm going to show you here. So if I zoom in, we're still in the downtown area right above the marina. And for example, this home right here just sold recently for around the $550,000 mark. So if I can get a better picture for you. So it's just a quaint, small little home. But as you can see, you're so close to downtown and the marina and the water and the beach that even for a home like this, you are going to be paying a little bit higher. Now, cute little street. Most of the streets down here actually don't have a lot of sidewalks, so just keep that in mind. They are that more old town feel, the older Florida feel, where you see like most of the streets down here don't have the sidewalks on them. So now if we just go literally up the street, okay, we're just gonna go up the street and let's see if I can find this spot for you. This house right here, this small little house, not updated, went for around the $225,000 or so mark. And that just gives you a good idea. Same street, a little further away from downtown. One was updated, one wasn't. Obviously, square footage and beds and baths and things like that definitely play a part in all this. But I just wanted to show you that when you are looking in Gulfport, my point is that you have a ton of options. So if you like the area, you could buy a house like the little $200,000 one and fix it up to how you want it. Or you can do something like that $650,000 one and have this crazy, amazing, artistic beauty that's right downtown. Or you could go higher than that and have something where you are still having that downtown atmosphere, but you have more flexibility with like possible mother-in-law or a rental unit in the back. And then, of course, like I mentioned, everything over here, you're looking at the over $1 million mark for sure, and really nice properties around the water. So that will give you a really good feel for the lower part of Gulfport. Now, let's zoom out and talk about the upper part. Now we're going to look at the upper part of Gulfport, and I'm going to tell you about a couple of the cool spots up there and give you an overview of some of the homes. So let's jump inside and talk about it. Okay, so here's Gulfport zoomed out. We're going to zoom in up north here. A couple of spots I wanted to highlight are that once you go north, you're obviously getting closer to West St. Pete. One of the cool spots is that we have Stetson University College of Law. Beautiful, beautiful campus. It's basically a university for if you want to get a law degree or anything in that realm of education. It's a great school, and I've only heard really good things about it. So, beautiful campus right here in Gulfport. And you're lucky if you do want that, because you do have the beautiful Gulfport City right at your fingertips. The other thing is you have some cool parks on the way up. You have the one down here, which is just a quaint little baseball field style, kids play type area. Couple cool little spots to walk around. And then, sorry about my mouse here, if you zoom up at the top of Gulfport, right at the St. Pete west border, is Boca Ciega High School. Now, Boca Ciega High School, for those of you that do have kids in high school, this school is rated, I think it was a B+ rating on niche.com, but it is a higher rated school, so that's good to know. It is a lot of the ones that you hear about, a lot of people in West St. Pete will attend to. So that is one to think about if you are going to, be interested in this area. The other thing I wanted to point out about the upper part of Gulfport is that you are, as I mentioned, if you haven't seen my West St. Pete video, but you are bordering right here the Childs Park area. And now this area has just not necessarily been known as the best area of town. So do your research on this, and if it is a concern, just know that Gulfport is almost like a whole nother world from this area. So I don't think that you have much to worry about if you're living in the central Gulfport area, but just keep in mind if you're along the border here, it may be something to consider. But up here, you're basically looking at homes anywhere from, you'll find them as low as the 200s all the way up to mid-4s. Sometimes you'll be a little bit above that. But for the most part, anywhere in this area, that's what you're looking at. And same with anywhere in this area. And you're just looking at the standard style homes, main roads, normal style neighborhoods, things like that. So you're still looking at no sidewalks for the most part on these streets. Most of the streets, you're going to have that older Florida feel. So you are going to have the same mix of properties, large, small, fixed up, not fixed up. So that's one thing just to keep in mind about this area. Do some playing around and see, if you think that is kind of the place that you might want to be. But for the most part, that is upper Gulfport. There's not a ton to say about it because it is just very residential up there. And like I said, you have so much going on down in this area that it almost makes you want to come down or go over to the beaches or go over to St. Pete or go up to West Seattle where you have that really cool park and the water park and all that stuff. So in general, this is Gulfport and North Gulfport. All right, that was it. I hope that was super helpful and that you learned a lot of the streets and places that you could go when you are in Gulfport. If you do live in the area, or maybe you've been to Gulfport and you love it, or maybe you've been to Gulfport and you don't love it, either way, comment below. I would love to hear what you think about the area. And if you do have any questions, also toss those below and I will definitely answer those. As always, I appreciate you hanging out with me today, and I will see you next time. Bye.